Hey, it's me, Gabe, from Radio Arts in Buffalo, New York, and I'm here with Candace Keegan Masters, an artist, a local artist here in Buffalo. So first thing I want to ask you, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks for having me.
And what was your childhood like growing up?
My childhood was very nice. I grew up in Niagara Falls, close by to the water. And I have one sister, and we've always been interested in art and music and all those kinds of artsy things.
Pause it for a second. I have to think for a second. Do you have any artists in your family?
No, not officially, but my mom was always, my sister and I were always interested in drawing and painting and singing, and we were also in little theater, so we were into performing arts when we were kids too. So generally artsy people.
Did you play any type of instrument?
No, no instrument. I always regretted that I never did that.
What type of artwork do you do? Like what genre?
I do a couple of different kinds of artwork. One is abstract, based on water and things that flow, sort of inspired by Niagara Falls and growing up near water. And then the other body of work that I generally tend to work with kids in Buffalo and college students is realism, which means stuff that's very recognizable or realistic. And subject matter that I'm particularly interested in are robots and toys.
Where would we be able to see your work in a gallery?
I show around Buffalo quite a bit, so it depends on the month that it might be in a different places. But College Street Gallery, which is on Allen Street in Allentown, I recently had a show at Queen City Gallery, which is in the Market Arcade building. But if you check Art Voice, usually you can find me someplace in Buffalo.
Where do you work?
I work at Buffalo State College and I teach in the art education department. So I teach folks who are learning how to become art teachers and also people who are already art teachers and want to work on their painting after they've become teachers.
Did you go to Buff State or did you go to a different college?
Nope, I didn't go to Buff State. I went to SUNY Potsdam, which is up in the northern part of New York State. And then I went to graduate school at Catholic University, which is in Washington, D.C.
Can you describe to us your work?
In terms of my artwork, I guess I would describe it as an opportunity to use my imagination and take things that I find interesting from real life and then change them around as I see fit to tell a story. I like work that tells a story. I also like to create artwork that has symbols so that while you may be looking at something that is perhaps a wind up toy initially, when I make the painting, I want it to have something more to say so that there are levels of meaning. So oftentimes I'll include different kinds of symbols to give the person who's looking at it clues as to what it might be about. But I don't like to tell the whole story because I like to keep people guessing.
Do you have a favorite piece?
I do. I do have a favorite piece, and it's actually a drawing, not a painting. And I drew it right after I had my daughter, who is now 3, and it's a picture of a robot holding a robot baby. And so I think it was really the first artwork that I created after I had my daughter, and that was an important thing in my life. So that's one drawing that I always hold on to. Most of the time, I'm happy if somebody else wants to buy it or make it for somebody else. But for that one, it has a lot of meaning for me because of that reason.
What type of materials do you use to create your artwork?
I like drawing and painting. Most of my paintings are done with oil paint, but I also use acrylic, and sometimes I put things into the paint. So I might use mixed media, which means there's multiple different kinds of materials. Sometimes it's a mix of drawing and painting. So I may sometimes use things that are cut out or glued, and again, drawn and painted. I like to use charcoal and ink, and I actually very much like Sharpie markers.
What would you say to children who are starting to or want to become an artist but are starting not really can't really find anything to be inspired by?
If you can't find anything to be inspired by, you just really need to open your eyes. There's always something right in your immediate world that can inspire you if you look at it in a new way. The other thing is and most important is to use your imagination. Don't stop using your imagination. Don't feel like just because you're growing up or getting older that you should not use your imagination. Because if you use your imagination and again look at things with new eyes, there's always something that can end up being inspiring. And the last thing is not to worry so much about if you could, oh, I can't draw well, or I don't think I like the way that this looks. Because if you open your imagination, it isn't just about making things look like they look in real life, but it's about what could be the